And a warm welcome to a special Cup tie edition of The Big Match, the programme where we get down this weekend to the big questions of another Cup Saturday. How was it that Fulham caused such a sensation at Everton yesterday? And here with us in the studio, the Fulham hero, Viv Busby, seeing his goals on television for the first time. What about that gesture of Stan Bowles when he was called off by Queen's Park Rangers yesterday, giving us the season's most ludicrous quote, "Bowles won't talk to Sexton again." We'll show you that incident too. How is it that Ipswich, in thrilling fashion, became Cup favourites yesterday? We'll show that as well. Well, all that to come as we bring you three great Cup ties. West Ham against Queen's Park Rangers, a real classic. Everton against Fulham, and Ipswich against Aston Villa. So much good action, in fact, that we've held over the Big Match playback and your letters for just 1 week. So it's action all the way as we go first of all to Upton Park, filled with the anticipation of a cup tie all football purists have been talking about all week. They were not disappointed. And here, first of all, come West Ham, led out by Billy Bonds. And here are their opponents, Queen's Park Rangers, led by Frank McLintock. So the stage is set, the rivalry could hardly be fiercer as we catch up on the two teams. First West Ham with Keith Robson back in the number 9 shirt after a touch of flu. Bobby Gould still not quite ready. Clyde Best is the sub. As for Rangers, a big blow for them is that Gerry Francis is out with an ankle injury. Mick Leach takes the place at number 8, and Frank McLintock, as I say, is the skipper. The referee today is Gordon Q of Amersham, and with the gates closed a quarter of an hour before the start, there's a capacity crowd of just under 40,000.
Tremendous atmosphere. People expecting so much skill, and at a premium, it'll be skills like Trevor Brookings for West Ham and Stanley Bowles for Queen's Park Rangers as West Ham prepare to kick off in what everybody expects to be a tremendous cup tie. West Ham in those claret shirts with the light blue sleeves and a false kick-off. And so we got to start it again. This time we're okay. And it's Tommy Taylor for West Ham. A 2-2 draw here a month ago on a really terrible pitch, so filled with rain and puddles. And yet skill shone through so magnificently on that day. And now it's Beck for Queen's Park Rangers. Inside for Don Givens. Paddon. And a free kick straight away to West Ham, which Frank Lampard will take. Jennings, a nice little chest down for Robson. On for Holland, on for Jennings again. The blue and white shirts are back in some number. Here's Brooking, taken away though by Webb. And here's Dave Thomas for Queen's Park Rangers. The long ball towards Bowles. Nodded back, this time for Beck. Plaster on that left arm of his. Thomas. Oh, and that fell behind Givens and Leach. McDowell trying to stop him, but Leach, the ball went out of play, and it's a goal kick for West Ham. Mick Leach, who's in the side because Gerry Francis, scorer of 8 goals, and the skipper is out with an ankle injury, but a very capable deputy. Brooking. Lovely skills again by Brooking, with a chance now to look up and assess the situation, and he finds McDowell. Webb really didn't quite get to that one, but just got enough purchase on it. Lampard stopping Givens. Masson, and now it's Robson for West Ham. Paddon going in. Masson again, just beating the challenge of Billy Bonds. Taylor forward now in the hope of sending Holland on his way, but Gillard gets it back to Parks. Now Webb. Leach. Thomas. Just beating, or rather hurdling over that challenge by Billy Bonds. McClintock. Forward again for Bowles. Sliced most delicately out there for Beck. And Beck really should have kept that in. Clements now. He's half waiting for a whistle, I think. They're still going on, though. And a goal! Dave Clement! Well, that's a great breakthrough for Queen's Park Rangers. With 25 minutes gone. The muddle over on the touchline, and I think Clement half waited and looked at the referee, thinking there might have been a handball on that touchline. No whistle was forthcoming. Clement went on his way beautifully and whacked it past Mervyn Day to put QPR into the lead. West Ham 0, Queen's Park Rangers 1. Dave Clement the scorer, his first goal of the season. So now it's with Taylor. And John Lyle, with his substitute Clyde Best, really got something to worry about now. Bowles again. Lovely skill and a turn there, and a good-looking pass there that almost came off for Givens. And it might still come off for Givens, and now Lampard for West Ham. Billy Bonds. Into the path of Holland with Brooking up there as well. And good defence by Ian Gillard for QPR. But not such a good pass. Straight to Pat. Lampard. Holland. A little touch off for Brooking. Took him a little further to the right than he wanted, but Holland with the header! Oh, a great goal by Pat Holland! No chance for Parks. Brooking managed to turn it in, and Holland met it superbly with his head. Wide of Phil Parks, and 1-1 is the score. Pat Holland, who has a habit of scoring vital cup tie goals, one here against Hereford, one against Swindon in the last round, and now a vital one for West Ham today. Bonds goes in, and the crowd are really turned up the volume now. Masson. Bowles. Played there for Leach. Well, Leach went tumbling, and the referee was perfectly placed. Bonds, Brooking allowing it to run as he does so well. But the whistle had gone for half-time. And what a good first half it was, full of fire, full of flowing football, and really living up to everything that everybody expected of it. Pat Holland having scored a beautifully headed goal for West Ham that equalised the one scored by Dave Clement, going in there for Queen's Park Rangers. So a lot of talking to go on in the next 10 minutes or so in those dressing rooms as Holland and Taylor leave the field for West Ham. Brooking and Beck there. Beck of Queen's Park Rangers has had a magnificent hard-working first half. A half-time score then at Upton Park in this cup tie. West Ham 1, Queen's Park Rangers 1. We'll be right back.
Oh, that's another great cross.
Club Mix 96 is back. 35 slamming dance hits with Todd Terry's subliminal cuts and wink. Club Mix 96 Volume 2 with everything but the girl. Underworld JX and Reel to Reel. 96, Club Mix 96, Volume 2, out now.
Admin are always on at me to liven up my advertisements for John Smith's Extra Smooth Bitter.
They don't think it's enough to talk about its extra smooth taste.
What we need's a bit of action, Jackie. They just don't get it, do they? Well, I told them straight. No gimmicks, no dancing ladybirds, and definitely no penguins. Just me in a pub with a pint of John Smith's Extra Smooth. Pure silk in a glass. So, if this is a bit dull, you can blame me.
Cut it. That was nice, Jack.
So you're going to put the pub background in afterwards?
Yeah, that's right, Jack. Yeah, we're going to put it in later.
Don't be bored, Carl. Friends. What's the number then?
Oh, 8, 9, 1, 97, 97, 97.
Ooh!
There are two reasons why I like Kellogg's Fruit and Fibre. One, they use only the finest ingredients. And two, it's good for my body. So I feel like this and this.
Kellogg's Fruit and Fibre. You'll feel as good as it tastes.
What do I expect from my conditioner?
To leave my hair looking this soft, this healthy, all the way to the tips. I used to cut off split ends, now I hardly have any. The Pro-Vitamin in Pantene's Pro-V conditioner penetrates deep down, while its advanced formula protects and conditions your hair all the way to the tips. So my hair's shiny, soft and manageable. Pantene Pro-V conditioner, for hair that looks so healthy it shines. Split ends? I don't worry about them.
When a headache strikes, Nurofen knows how to release you fast and effectively.
That's another great cross.
Welcome back to Upton Park with an enthralling cup tie, very much still in the balance. 1-1 as Gordon Q of Amersham gets us away at the start of the second half. QPR now attacking the goal to our right. Here's Lampard for West Ham. Masson and McClintock back to Parks. Will it go? Yes, but only just. Now it's Gillard. Brooking again for West Ham. Attacking Gillard with Jennings outside him, and that worked well for West Ham. A float across there towards Keith Robson! Yes! West Ham in the lead within a minute of the start of the second half. Over on the right. Brooking again, playing a part in it, and Jennings. The back heel going, Jennings floating it over. Robson getting up well and putting it beyond the reach of Parks, who was stranded in the mud. West Ham 2, Queen's Park Rangers 1. Keith Robson the scorer. Now Gillard. Taylor. Brooking again. Masson. Givens. Thomas. Leach. Challenged very strongly by Billy Bonds. It's been such a battle in the middle of the field, and here's Bowles. Played for Givens. Now can Givens get round? McClintock with a shot, but way, way wide. Robson's header, but nobody there for West Ham to collect. McClintock now. Clement lobbing it forward again. Taylor almost casually there to Locke. Padden. Played for Bonds. Back to Padden again. And now for Bonds. And now for McDowell. And away goes Billy Jennings. And away goes Holland. Could this be number 3 for West Ham? No! Superb goalkeeping by Parks. Lovely breakaway by West Ham, again involving Jennings. Nodded on nicely there, beautifully for Holland, and a great piece of goalkeeping by Parks. Now it's with Bowles. Stopped though by Kevin Locke again. Rangers throw. Now Webb. Stopped by Billy Bonds. Played for Billy Jennings. Padden is available too, and inevitably down the left is Lampard. He's got through some work, and he's onside. Lampard is okay. Billy Jennings is waiting in the middle. Oh, and that was almost stuck into his own goal by Dave Clement. He can afford to smile now. A delicate little cross into space by Frank Lampard. Clement miscuing, and Parks grateful to grab it. Webb winning it well in the air. Padden. Well, he had a bit of luck there. Bonds now sending McDowell on his way. McDowell for West Ham. There's the cross again, straight at Parks. Locke. To Bonds. McDowell showed too much of that, and now Don Rogers, I think, will be on. Dave Sexton there telling him exactly what to do, knowing that he's got less than a quarter of an hour. Gerry Francis there sitting alongside Dave Sexton. What a difference he might have made to this Rangers side this afternoon. An ankle injury kept him out. Said something about Stan Bowles then, if you could lip read Dave Sexton. Is it Stan Bowles? Yes. Well, the crowd are enjoying that. I'm wondering what Bowles is going to do. So Bowles is the man who goes off. Well, the crowd are booing and some of them are cheering, and a lot of them are surprised. I gather he had a sore throat yesterday, a final gesture to the crowd, but Bowles is the man taken off. Don Rogers is the man who comes on. And now Gerald. Linesman flagging again on this side. Again, it must have been Don Gibbons offside. Jennings, played through to McDowell. Brooking is right in there. Here's Brooking. Oh, and he tried to take it just one step too far. Now Thomas. Padden doing well to chest that one away. Here's Billy Bonds. Played on for Trevor Brooking. A shade too far ahead of him, but Brooking still got it and almost got it again. And then Dave Thomas takes it away for Rangers. Gerald, back to Parks. Very nearly went for Trevor Brooking there. I think he just tried to do just a little too much with it. Now it'll come for Robson. And there's Billy Jennings now. Still with Jennings. Is this number 3? No, again, he's tried to do too much. Certainly West Ham have made chances and openings for themselves, and so often they've just tried to take it one step too far, as Jennings did there. Bonds. They'll really kick themselves if Rangers come away and snatch an equaliser, because West Ham have certainly made the better chances in this second half. Here's Brooking. Gillard. Masson. Bonds just stopping him for the moment. That really was only a holding action, because here it is with Thomas. Gillard and Bonds. Padden getting himself in a bit of a tangle. McClintock. Still McClintock, played for Don Rogers. Now can he pull something out that'll save Queen's Park Rangers? Bonds away again. Jennings. Here's Lampard. Webb will go for that, and Parks comes out together. Bonds miscuing with the header, but Taylor supporting him well. Robson. Webb. Hardly move in the mud in the middle there. Really is like a glue pot. Don Rogers having it cut out by Padden. Here's Padden again. To Robson. 5 minutes to go. Brooking. Padden. Holland. Flicked in to Robson. Tried to find Brooking. And Locke hit firmly back. It's a bad day for back passes, but that was the perfect example of them from Kevin Locke. Hit firmly enough to make sure that he'll get it today. Good jump there by Billy Jennings. Gillard turning it away again. Tommy Taylor. Gillard wanting to get on with it, knowing that only seconds remain. And another throw for Rangers. This time with Dave Thomas. David Webb right in there. John Beck right in there. Thomas again. And a corner now for Rangers. Well, we could still have quite a finish there. McClintock's already up. And here comes that corner. Floated in again. Still not away, although the linesman is flagging and the referee is whistling. Dave flips it over the top. But it's a free kick to West Ham. Day. It puts Rangers in possession of the game, but it's all over. And it's West Ham who go into the next round, having beaten Queen's Park Rangers 2-1. A really fiercely contested game, and Keith Robson's goal in the first minute of the second half proving to be the winner. After Clement had put Rangers into the lead in the first half, and Pat Holland had equalised for West Ham. We leave you with a final score at Upton Park that is still buzzing with excitement. West Ham 2, Queen's Park Rangers 1.
And still to come, that fabulous Fulham performance. But what a wonderful cup tie it was at Upton Park yesterday, soured only by that incident when Stan Bowles was substituted. We pick up that moment now. The trainer now looks at Dave Sexton. Look at Dave Sexton. Stan Bowles, he's saying. It was only then that everybody realised who in fact was to be substituted. Watch Gordon Pugh, the referee. Up go 8 fingers and 2 thumbs, and the number 10 comes off Stan Bowles. And now the moment of controversy, the gesture coming up. I thought, in fact, it was to the crowd who were booing him, but it seems to be that it was for Dave Sexton. It was a silly thing nonetheless for him to do. Stan says he won't speak to Dave Sexton again, but when I spoke to Dave just before the team left the ground, he said that it was his intention to explain fully to Stan Bowles why he pulled him off. He said he wanted more width in Rangers' play down the wings and felt quite simply that Don Rogers could supply it. I'd back Dave Sexton, I think, when it comes to Rangers' futures. But I'm wondering why we don't have those World Cup numbers that eliminated all that lack of communication during the World Cup when substitutions were made. Let's have some more action now. And for this we go to a thriller at Portman Road, where Ipswich were at home to the League Cup finalists, Aston Villa. The pictures come from Anglia. The commentator is Gerry Harrison. Stand by for more thrills then with Ipswich in the dark shirts.
It's Leonard here, turning it out well to Hamilton. Mills, and Cray almost got it. Yes, it's Leonard, but we've had an infringement. The challenge by Grayton as he went in, was it a foul or was it a handball? But certainly Ipswich are caught napping there. McDonald, Robson, good ball to Evans. McDonald to Leonard, a lot of room to turn. Now it's McDonald, he can score here. Yes! A great goal by Villa. And that is McDonald's first goal for the club. 19-year-old Bobby McDonald, and that was a fine goal. The build-up was 1-2 all the way through. Came comfortably through, but look at this Ipswich marking. It's absolutely non-existent. Leonard gets time to turn, gives McDonald a return, and with that left foot of his, he tucks it away past Laurie Civil with no trouble at all. 1-0. With Carradus running well up there with Talbot. Carradus getting by Talbot. Good run by Frank Carradus. Just away by Hunter and Mills now. What a good run by Carradus. Hunter's legs stuck out there, bouncing off, fortunately, and almost free, and Hunter again coming to it. But it's still a Villa with Grayton getting over to Leonard, and a good header. And it's there by Evans. So Aston Villa do it again. 5 minutes into this second half, they're leading by 2 goals to 0. And it's Ipswich now down and taking a long count. As Grayton drove that ball over, it looked as if Leonard was too acute to get it back, but he got it, and it came off the bar to Evans, and that's his first goal since March the 13th last year. 2-0 Villa. To Woods with Ross behind him. Bill John's in there quickly. Talbot's gone on the left. This is for Lambert. What a lovely ball. Lambert's drive. Yes, Johnson. 2-1. And they're back in it. And the man who made that goal was quite definitely Colin Biljon. Picking that ball up, sliding a lovely ball through to Lambert. He didn't panic. He pulled it back. And Johnson slid his 12th goal of the season into the net. 2-1. And we've had 18 minutes of the second half. Burley and Biljon turning. Wide out there is Hamilton, but quickly in was Robson. Now Johnson with it, away goes Talbot. It's a good chance for an equaliser now. Past Coombs, and it's put in by Hamilton. Well, that's the way to fight back. And that's what I call support running. That last Ipswich breakthrough down the middle for the first time really in the game. And it's the touch by Johnson that gets Talbot away. Talbot takes it up to and round the goalkeeper. But Brian Hamilton has been out of the side since Boxing Day, sees his chance to make a name for himself and puts it in. The equaliser, 2 goals each. And a good ball to Weimark. Can't get by McDonald. Play on. Weimark's still there. And this is Biljon really racing hard. And Aitken gets it off. Well, that's a corner. It's already gone. Desperately stretched this Fuller defence. Going through their minds, I'm sure, is whether they want to win or lose or draw, because a draw and a tough replay at Villa Park is certainly something they don't want. Lambert's corner. Yes! Three-two ahead. BT deflected it in. And there on the far post, a man to put it in, Brian Hamilton. Corner came across from Lambert. Beattie got up there well, and suddenly it's 3-2, and for the first time Ipswich are ahead with only 5 minutes left.
So that's how Ipswich are now new favourites at 4-1. But of course, who can rule out Fulham after their magnificent performance at Everton yesterday? And watching it with us, Viv Busby, the hero of Fulham, seeing those goals for the first time on TV. I think you're going to enjoy this, Viv. The pictures come from Granada Television, commentators Gerry Sinstadt, and Fulham are in the stripes with the black shorts.
Lacey, Busby, Conway, Barrett wide on the left, taking on Bernard, and getting over the cross for Conway. Just smuggled in, yes, it's gone in. Busby got the final touch, and that's a shaker for Everton. Barrett puts it across. Conway gets a touch. It went under the goalkeeper, and who put the final ball in is difficult to say. It may have been an own goal by Kenyon. It may have been touched in by Busby. Haven't seen much of Viv Busby yet. Now he takes on Bernard, and a good cross, well met by Barrett, but Sargent was right with him, and Mr. Thomas decides that it was Sargent's boot that the ball hit last, and so it's a Fulham corner. Hi Davis, issuing instructions, making sure that he's got a clear sight of the ball. The tall Lacey on the line in front of him. Slough couldn't turn, and that's played on. Has the whistle gone? Yes, it must have gone, but what for I don't know. That was surely played back by an Everton player, and Conway is going to be booked for his protest to Mr. Thomas. Mallory furious with Conway. A needless booking. There's the corner again. I think there's no doubt that this ball will be turned back in by an Everton player. There it is, and he certainly wasn't offside. Jones cross blocked by Lacey, and that's a corner for Everton. Just listen to the Goodison Park crowd getting behind their side now. Corner curled, and a header by Kenyon! Roger Kenyon gets his first goal for 15 months to put Everton level. Mellor trying to get a sight of it. Beautifully curled corner, and a good jump by the centre-half, and the ball nestling in the corner, out of the reach of Mellor. Kenyon. Pulling defenders out, but Fulham don't need defenders, it's attackers now, as Barrett goes away, and shoots past Davis and past the post. Everton caught dithering with the ball on the halfway line and then lost possession, and Barrett did the right thing. Now Dowie gives it away. Bernard. Dobson. Bernard out on the right. Took up a good position but has to chase the pass. Gets it back across. Mellor watching it and didn't get his hands to it. Lions! No, disallowed. Referee has blown up. But Everton thought they'd got it then. But presumably disallowed for the original challenge on Mellor. as he went up for the catch. You see the incident again. Out it goes to Bernard. Bernard's cross. Now watch his Mellor impeded there. Well, didn't look like it, but maybe there was another infringement. So we've had a goal disallowed by each side now, and here's Conway breaking for Fulham. Keeps it in. Now can Busby turn and shoot? Yes! Can he just? So, from elation for Everton, total dismay as a goal is disallowed, and then Conway breaks, pulls the ball back, Busby turns and hits it off the hands of the goalkeeper into the net. 2-1, 7 minutes to go, and what a time to score a goal. Bobby Moore telling Busby the way the game is now going to be played.
Viv,
Well,
congratulations.
Thanks very much, Brian.
What was Bobby Moore saying to you there?
Well, you know, he brought me down to earth again, actually, Brian, you know, because I was overjoyed at scoring the goals, and he was saying, come on, get down there, let's play, you know, let's keep in the game, let's keep the game going, and let's sew it up, like, you know, let's not forget that we're still playing, let's go.
I think he also had a word with Peter Mellor, didn't he?
I believe so. Afterwards they were saying that Peter came out, you know, and he was overjoyed on his knees, and Bobby said, get back in that goal, you know, and, you know, so the story goes that Peter just, you know, brought him right back down to earth again, and we were really playing. Yeah.
In fact, the likes of Bobby Moore and Alan Mullery in your side must be a great stabilising effect in matches like that.
You know, tremendous, Brian, yeah, you know, the experience of the both of them comes out all through the team for the lads. You know, Bobby plays tremendous, Alan's tremendous, gets everybody going, G's everybody up. Tremendous to have in the side.
Now, your two goals. The first one, Gerry Sinstadt, I think quite understandably, had a certain amount of doubt in his mind as to who finally pushed it over the line, or whose it was. I think when we look at it, it is quite clearly yours. Tell us about it, Viv. Some good running here by Les.
Yeah, Les does well there. You know, he gets a cross over. Jimmy gets a touch, I think, and the goalkeeper's already committed himself. And as you see, the ball goes past him, and I think Kenyon lays on it. I think it's Kenyon, and he loses it. I think he handballed it, he's got his hands over it, but he loses it. And I'm just going in to pick up the pieces, and
it's not over the line, it's your goal, isn't it?
I hope so, yeah. I've claimed it, Brian, anyway. And it's there, you know, nothing easier to tap it in from there, really.
Yes, that was just the breakthrough you wanted.
Great.
You are a scorer of spectacular goals. You're renowned for that. Well, I suppose the second one was probably as good as you've scored for a long time, wasn't it?
I really enjoyed the second one, Brian, yeah. Jimmy done very well, Jimmy Conway done very well. Took the ball to the line, and I was surprised. You can see there.
Here he goes now.
Yeah, tremendous run.
You were surprised with what?
I was surprised that when Jimmy clips the ball across, I'm surprised at the room I've got, because I've got to come out to pick the ball up. And if you notice, you know, I've got plenty of room, plenty of time.
Yes.
You see there, as I pick the ball up now, you know, I've got, what, 4 yards before, 5 yards before anybody's near me. Gives me time to touch it on and just turn and hit it.
Viv, many congratulations on yesterday, and thanks for coming and joining us on the big match today.
Great pleasure, Brian, thank you.
Well, it was a weekend of great skill as well as great excitement, and I think we captured that skill with a couple of the goals that you saw on the programme today. Pat Holland's superb header for West Ham, and Viv Busby, our guest today, and his superb winner for fabulous Fulham.
Holland, little touch off for Brooking. Took him a little further to the right than he wanted, but Holland with a header!
Conway breaking for Fulham. Keeps it in. Now can Busby turn and shoot? Yes!
Oh, what a fantastic cross. Another great cross. Littlewood's Pool, sponsors of the big match replayed.
What?
Attention, this is a special bulletin.
Whatever else this is.
Let's get started.
It's not just television.
car insurance, call Eagle Star Direct on 0800 333 800 and set your sights on a great deal.
Cross your legs and hold your front page, darling. I promised you and it was true.
It only takes one sharpshooter to make a killer front page.
So let's take your portrait, not a pose.
Hey, no! And this paparazzo takes pictures to die for.
I want incendiary and you bring me thermonuclear.
But what happens when a shoot gets too hot to handle?
Come back and take my picture!
Paparazzo, tonight at 8:30 on Carlton.
How would America's famous police chief William Bratton tackle crime on Britain's streets? The big story has the answer here on Carlton tonight at 7:30.
Hello, good evening. I'm Anna Maria Ash.
And I'm Nick Clark. In London tonight, Charlie Cray, brother of the Cray gangsters, is seized by police investigating an £80 million cocaine ring.
Plus, do we really need Europe's tallest skyscraper in place of one of London's most historic buildings?
And if this is a friendly game, what happens when it gets serious?
First tonight, Charlie Cray under arrest in East London. The 70-year-old brother of the Cray twins is being questioned by detectives investigating an £80 million drug racket.
He was arrested during a raid in South London. It was one of a series of raids carried out under Operation Crackdown, the latest police offensive to keep drugs off the capital's streets. Angus Scott reports.
Friends of Charlie Cray brought him a suit and shaving bag following his arrest last night. It was expected to be, and was, a long day inside. Charlie Cray, pictured here earlier, spent the night at Ilford Police Station as detectives stepped up Operation Crackdown. The 70-year-old, seen here with Reggie at their brother Ronnie's funeral, is being questioned about a suspected £80 million drug smuggling ring. That day last year, it seemed the whole of the East End came out to pay their last respects to one of London's most infamous families. Today, the support is once again behind the Crays.
I think he's done nothing wrong at all. I think it's just his name, somehow or other, and you have to expect this when you have a name like that. The Crays, or my name, or the Richardsons. This is par for the cause. But personally, I don't think he's done anything wrong at all. I'd bet money on it.
All across the region, detectives raided homes as part of the biggest ever blitz on drug dealers. A systematic sweep of the southeast, targeting the pushers and peddlers.
Police from Plumstead Police Station. Morning. Have a search warrant for your address.
There are 300 officers on Operation Crackdown. Today's raids aimed at uncovering stashes of heroin, cocaine and ecstasy.
Building on the opportunities that we've developed through the other operations, through Bumblebee and Eagle Eye, we intend to make Operation Crackdown against a drug dealer an integral part of the policing of London. And we've got operations planned that are going right through the autumn, and we intend to let drug dealers know they shouldn't be doing it around here.
Within the last few minutes, Charlie Cray's solicitor emerged from Ilford Police Station.
The circumstances bearing up, I've just seen him and he's all right.
Is there anything you can tell us about the charge?
For the moment, no, I don't think I ought to discuss them at the moment because there aren't any charges as yet, and we'll have to see how it goes.
OK, we can go live now to Angus Scott at Ilford Police Station. Angus, what is the latest?
Well, Nick, as you might expect with a story surrounding one of the Crays, there are plenty of rumours and counter-rumours. All I can tell you for definite is that Charlie Cray is still inside Ilford Police Station and is still being questioned. But there are different rumours to whether, yes, there will be charges tonight, or no, they won't.
Now, what about the others arrested in this operation?
Yeah, there were 31 arrested in all as part of Operation Crackdown. 2 specifically that the police are talking to here at Ilford Police Station. They were arrested at an Esso petrol station on the A13. Also recovered at that petrol station was £63,000 worth of cocaine. Those 2 men are still being questioned, along with Charlie Cray this evening. Nick.
Angus, thanks very much indeed. Now, if there are any developments before the end of the programme, we'll go straight back to Angus.
And I'll have the latest in our bulletin tonight after news at 10. Still to come on the programme, from this to this. What a difference a free seaside holiday makes for a 96-year-old victim of mugging. Before that, news that the tallest building in Europe could be built in the City of London on an IRA bomb site. But it'll mean the total demolition of the historic Baltic Exchange, and that has caused a bitter argument. The original owners were told they must repair the building and not redevelop the site. It forced them to sell. And now they're furious the new owners look likely to get planning permission. Claire Rucastle reports.
Passing the ruins of the building they'd once promised to preserve as an important national monument, officials for English heritage turned up at the Baltic Exchange this afternoon to justify what has been denounced as a disgraceful act of double standards.
Can you any brief comment on the view that you've changed the rules?
This was the mutilated shell of the elegant 100-year-old building in the aftermath of the IRA bomb in 1992, which claimed 3 lives. The grandiose marbled trading floor was Grade 2 listed, a recognised masterpiece. At the time, English Heritage, backed by the Secretary of State, said it would take legal action if it wasn't returned to its exact former glory. The cost proved too much for the managers of London's oldest shipping market. They paid a fond farewell last year after selling it on for a knockdown price to the developers Trafalgar House. The new owners appeared on London Tonight to pledge they'd carry out the work.
We feel it's very special indeed, and of course we'll have this amazing hall as the main entrance hall to the building.
We were even showed plans, and restorers demonstrated how they'd piece together the remains.
So, what of the site that a year ago we were led to understand would be full of master craftsmen, painstakingly putting everything back as it was before? No sign of them so far, I'm afraid, just the far blunter, noisier instruments of the demolition workers.
Trafalgar House, it now appears, has persuaded English Heritage to allow them to demolish the site after all, to make way for the tallest skyscraper in Europe. 1,000 feet high, it would dwarf Canary Wharf. In a statement today, English Heritage told us significant factors had changed.
It looks as though English Heritage said one thing to the Baltic Exchange and then something else, something rather more lenient, to Trafalgar House.
The furious Baltic Exchange say they've been done out of millions and they're demanding an explanation.
Who benefits from that change in the ground rules?
But the signs are this precious building has finally fallen victim, first to the IRA and now to the developers. In the city, this is Claire Rucastle for London Tonight.
Meanwhile, a new version of an old London landmark has been unveiled today. An artist's impression shows the new Crystal Palace. It'll be built on the same South London site as the original palace, which burned down in 1936. Work will be privately funded, and that could start next year.
Motorists are still reeling tonight over the closure of a major M1 junction in North London last night at just 4 hours' notice. It could stay shut for a year. But that could be just the start. London Tonight has discovered that up to 6 other motorway bridges around London could suffer a similar fate. Gilly Parton is at one of the trouble spots now under the M4 in West London. Gilly.
Well, I'm on the A4 at Brentford, next to the elevated section of the M4, and a little bit further down it crosses over the Grand Union Canal at Boston Manor, and that's one of the 7 structures on the list for London that are due for strengthening. Now, the Highways Agency says that it won't mean major changes, it won't mean a closure, possibly lane closures at night, but groups like the AA are very worried that it's going to be bad news elsewhere. It's enough to bring tears of frustration to the eyes of even the mildest driver. Yards of cones, signs that say no go. The A1 junction with the M1 is one of the busiest routes into London. 10,000 people a day use the bridge. It's being shut for strengthening. 2.5 years from now, 40-ton lorries will hit our roads, and the government is assessing hundreds of bridges and structures to make sure they can take the strain. And many of those earmarked are in the capital. The Five-Ways flyover will be shut until June next year. The wider picture looks like this. On the M1, bridges are due for repair at the Berry Grove interchange at Junction 5. On the M4, the Grand Union Canal Bridge at Hounslow and the Thames Bray flyover in Berkshire need repairing. On the M11, the Woodford West Viaduct needs work, and on the A282, the eastern bore of the Dartford Tunnel and the nearby Essex Viaduct are also targets. This was the build-up of traffic last weekend when road surfacing began on the A4 in Chiswick. The British Road Federation, which lobbies on behalf of road users, says the added strengthening programme by the Highways Agency will mean more of the same.
Other major works are planned for other motorways, bridges in London already. And what they don't know is how safe they are. They've only just started the assessment work. When they look closer, as they did on the M1, they could find that they need to shut those too, which could mean widespread chaos along the major arteries.
The government is continuously working on how to assess the strength of bridges. At this test site, a fully laden tanker ploughs into a support at 40 miles an hour. Safety is the key priority. The bridges have to be able to withstand a crash. The current strengthening programme is the responsibility of the Highways Agency, but it's playing down the idea of a crisis looming.
M1 Junction 2 is very much a one-off. You have to consider each structure on its merits, and each one has its individual design. It's unlikely that we're going to have to close structures as we did with the M1 Junction 2.
So if it's not full closure, what are the other options? Well, we're looking at lane closures, contraflows, weight restrictions. However you look at it, it really doesn't sound very good. And Mr. Robinson did say to me that there are no guarantees that some of those bridges won't be shut. Anna Maria.
Thank you, Gilly. We won't be seeing you for a while. Thank you.
In other news, police are this evening hunting a gang of hooded gunmen who broke into a house in Surrey, shot the owner's dog, then stole cash and jewellery. The dog, a Rottweiler called Hannah, is recovering at a nearby vet's after being treated for the bullet wound. A woman in the house on her own, the wife of a Greek tycoon, was ordered to open a safe, then handcuffed to the banister. She was shocked, but not injured.
The two sides in the tube dispute spent today considering peace proposals. Negotiators for the Underground and the two unions had a marathon session of talks yesterday at the conciliation service ACAS. They're due to return there tomorrow. 6 more tube strikes are scheduled, the first next Wednesday.
Now then, refuge at the seaside for a 96-year-old victim of a mugging. Maud Wood was attacked near her home at Hornsey in North London. And a London Tonight viewer was so moved by her ordeal, he's giving her a fortnight's holiday at his nursing home. This report from Richard Gaisford.
What a difference a holiday can make. Enjoying the Kent countryside today, Maud Wood, who 3 weeks ago looked like this. Left for dead by a vicious mugger who stole just £20, fracturing her skull and breaking her nose.
Not myself at all. I'm frightened to look at myself in the glass. That's what I look like.
But now she's looking younger than her 96 years and isn't avoiding the mirror. Maud's recovering well, aided by a whole catalogue of benefits of a stay near the coast.
Fresh air, beautiful surroundings, away from smoky London.
Robert Bastick saw pictures of Maud after the attack and just wanted to help. He's given her a fortnight away at his nursing home. He reckons it's the best kind of medicine.
I know there's problems in London, and a bit of fresh air and these surroundings would do anyone good in that position.
When I knew I was coming here, it backed me up a lot because I had a feeling everything will be nice, and it is.
The question now whether Maud wants to come back to the capital. After all, she's fallen in love with her country retreat. This is Richard Gaisford for London Tonight.
There is compassion in this world. Nice
She
to
looks
see.
great. Glad to
Now,
see it.
when we come back.
Common sense or killing? The debate over the human embryos destroyed because they're too old.
At moments like this, you need the softest touch for your children's skin. Most non-biological powders will get things quite soft, but not nearly as soft as our non-bio. New Fairy. It gets things more than fairly soft. It gets them very soft. New Fairy. Not just fairly soft, but very soft next to skin.
I get teased a lot by cab drivers. I'm sorry, cab drivers, but I do. They sort of say, oh, I saw you on television. Oh, you're Head and Shoulders girl. Oh, I hope there's no dandruff in my cab. Since doing the ad, I've become more conscious of my hair. I always wash my hair every day. I would never turn up at a job without having clean hair.
pH balanced Head and Shoulders clears dandruff, and it's mild enough to use as often as you want.
I'd much rather people gave me comments about having nice, silky, shiny hair than any other bit of my body, you know, rather than, boy, have you got big thighs.
Welcome back.
Still to come, what happened when a pre-season friendly got serious?
But first, thousands of human embryos were destroyed at clinics across the region today in a move that has angered medical staff and fertility patients. The eggs were supposed to be used to help childless couples conceive, but government rules meant the embryos had to be incinerated in spite of protests from pro-life campaigners. Liz Wickham reports.
There are no embryos in this sample, but this is how doctors today had to destroy thousands of potential babies. First, they're taken from the liquid nitrogen in which they're stored, then plunged into a bath of water at 37 degrees that will defrost them. An equal quantity of ethanol or other spirit is added. They're checked under a microscope for any sign of life, then incinerated. Doctors dedicated to creating life don't want to do this.
I feel very bad about it. I feel that I am not working for my patients. I am doing what the law or what the interpretation of the law is today, and I'm compelled to dispose of embryos that I'm not happy about.
But current legislation means that no embryo can be kept for longer than 5 years without the specific consent of both parents, impossible to get if one is an anonymous donor. So, today, thousands of embryos have been destroyed in London clinics alone, embryos that were viable for up to 2,000 years. Last night, groups of protesters campaigning for reproductive ethics held a vigil outside the Lister IVF clinic, lighting candles to symbolise what they see as lost lives. One such organisation, CORE, has been highly critical of the government's Human Fertilisation and Embryology Authority, which has created this legislation.
There is a case at the moment where a woman is desperate to save her frozen embryos, but because she can't obtain a yay or nay from her boyfriend, those embryos will be destroyed.
Several lab technicians told me off camera today that they'd refused to destroy embryos in these circumstances. Further evidence of the chaos that occurs when science races ahead of the legislation that's meant to control it. At the Churchill Clinic, this is Liz Wickham for London Tonight.
A teenager spoke today of his 8-hour ordeal at the hands of kidnappers. 17-year-old Stephen Nunn and a friend were snatched from a car park in Southend. They were driven to Hackney and forced to withdraw money from a cash point. They were then taken to Epping Forest and left tied to a tree. John Ryle reports.
Sitting with his mother, teenager Stephen Nunn faces a news conference to tell of his terrifying ordeal.
One sitting next to me, he says, I've got a knife and I'm itching to use it.
Stephen and a college friend were asked for a cigarette in a car park on Southend seafront. As they explained they didn't smoke, they were bundled into the friend's Ford Escort and driven off at high speed. 3 members of the gang followed in a mini metro, the 2 drivers communicating on mobile phones. The first stop was a service station at Thurrock, where the gang, drinking cider, bought drink and cigarettes. During the next stage of the journey, the terrified students were repeatedly punched. Stephen was forced to travel many miles in the boot. Eventually they stopped in North London, where Stephen's friend was forced to draw cash from his account.
They had some money in their hand and says, we got it, £60 and like, so they all got back in and like we drove off again and we was told to keep our heads down so we couldn't see where we was going.
The kidnappers said they had knives and guns. This time the destination was Epping Forest.
And then they says, right, this is the end of your journey. I didn't know what they meant like that, whether they were going to stab us, shoot us, or just like tie us to a tree or just let us go, or what.
The friends were left tied up but escaped. A week on, their car has not been found. It's a black Ford Escort, registration F440PYM. Police say the car is the key to the inquiry. It could provide the forensic evidence needed to trap the gang. In Southend, this is John Ryle for London Tonight.
Still to come on the programme, just when you thought it was safe to go out on London's roads, they're back.
Wherever we stop in London, we're parked illegally.
And now Mike Liggins is here to talk sport about my favourite month of the year, Mike.
August. Yes,
Indeed.
Thanks very much. Yeah, it's August 1st. The sun's gone behind the clouds, so it must be time for the return of football. Well, at least we're good at it. After all that success at the Olympics, the football clubs are playing friendly matches. West Ham played Torquay last night, only it wasn't all that friendly. Indeed, the match was dominated by one very ugly moment. Annie Mulhall reports.
The incident happened just outside the penalty area. Florin Radachoyu goes down, apparently flattened by Torquay defender John Gittins. Harry Redknapp was furious afterwards as Gittins escaped punishment by the referee, although he was substituted immediately afterwards. Radachoyu suffered a bruised cheekbone. Last season, Gittins was involved in a similar incident when playing for Portsmouth, when Reading's Trevor Morley fractured his skull. Chelsea's new signing, Frank Leboeuf and Robert Di Matteo, posed for the cameras today ahead of this weekend's Embryo tournament, also featuring Ajax United. Well, yesterday, Dennis Wise got the Blues into winning ways in a testimonial match against Wolves, slotting home a penalty for a 1-0 victory. Bruce Rioch may have at long last pledged his future to Arsenal, but it didn't help the Gunners last night as they lost to Celtic in Glasgow. Lee Dixon had put them ahead, but a capacity 47,000 crowd watched as Simon Donnelly pulled Celtic level. And then Phil O'Donnell won it in the very last minute. This is Annie Mulhall for London Tonight.
As Tim Henman prepares to win gold at the Olympics, a new tennis roadshow has been launched in London today. Called Tennis 2000, the aim of the roadshow is to help find the next Tim Henman.
That's wonderful touch at such a moment.
Meet Oliver Lewis and Billy Tucker, two tiny tots enjoying the Tennis 2000 roadshow in Wimbledon Park. It's a David Lloyd idea and is designed to get kids on court.
Kids love to play tennis, so there are a number of other things that they can go and spend their time doing, but they love to play tennis. There's something special about tennis. So this program is all about giving them a chance to experience what a great game tennis is.
For London-based Tim Henman, tennis is a great game at the moment. He reached the quarter-finals at Wimbledon and is now through to the final of the men's doubles in Atlanta.
We want children playing tennis, and especially after the way Tim Henman played at Wimbledon and the way he's doing at the Olympics at the moment. There's a huge interest in tennis at the moment. We want to capitalise on that.
What do you like most about it?
You can hit it real hard.
Do you like hitting the ball hard?
No, because you don't have to throw it, you just have to hit it.
And what are you going to be when you grow up?
A champion.
Tennis 2000 will be back in Wimbledon Park tomorrow and again on Saturday, and judging by their enthusiasm, Oliver and Billy will also be back, practicing to be champions. Now, before you start getting all excited about the resurgence of British sport, it was business as usual at the Olympics as our athletes struggled through the heat of yet another Atlanta night. Linford Christie had a chance to make amends for his 200 metres nightmare, a shot at the 200. This time he got out of the blocks okay, but missed the